Good morning, everybody. This is Angie Oldenburg coming to you from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Um, how are you doing this morning? Hopefully, you saw Diane's presentation earlier, and she had some really cute treat containers that she was making up. I'm just making sure I'm coming online here, refreshing my phone to make sure that somewhere I'm popping up live. Give me 1 second. They change this app every time we come on and do another event, so it's always a little bit challenging to figure out if I'm looking in the right spot. And there we are. Yep, okay, good. I can see myself. All right, hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. Happy Saturday. It is going to be a beautiful day here in Wisconsin today. I'm so excited. It's supposed to be almost like, I think in the high 60s, close to 70 degrees today, which is amazing since we had, I think, 15 inches of snow last week. So it's almost gone. It's spring. Yay. Okay, so most of you know, if you watched any of our videos so far for the weekend, we are working on projects or showing you samples with things with the retiring in colors. So again, here they all are: Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, and Petunia Pop. I think the ones I'm going to miss the most will be the Petunia Pop and the Pretty in Pink. That seems to be the ones I go to more frequently than others. So I'm a little sad on those. So I'm going to just stack these up. I'm going to be working with Peach Pie for the most part today, but I'm going to show you some samples with a few others. I'm going to move those out of the way. I am also going to be focusing on the Sweet Bugs bundle. And I'm just going to see if I can see comments on my phone. Hold on, I need to put that down quietly. Oh, hi Vicky. I can actually see comments on when I'm looking at my phone today, so good. I'll try to keep track of that. So we're going to use the Sweet Bugs bundle. You've seen a few of us use this over the last few months. This is in the current mini catalog. Absolutely cute, adorable set. Love it. I love little bugs when they're not crawling on me, when they're cartoony and not real ones. So that's what we're using today. I'm also going to use the paper, designer series paper. So this is the I'm going to redo this a little bit, show you a different way to do it. But this is the gist of the card that we're making today, using the Sweet Bugs stamp. Or actually, we're not even going to use the Sweet Bugs stamp set, but we're going to use the rest of the products from the Sweet. So that, and the little ants on the inside. So this is Peach Pie. Honestly, this is a color that I haven't used a whole lot, so this challenged me a little bit. But I always take my inspiration, or most of the time, from the designer series paper if I have it. So that is the one nice thing about Stampin' Up! Products. They give us a lot of inspiration, and they always list the majority of the colors, I don't know if you can see that are included in the designer series paper. So you can see, you maybe not see, this has actually does not even have the Peach Pie listed, but it matches. So that's kind of the crazy part. You have to look at your paper and hold it up to there, because not all of the colors that are in the designer series paper will be listed on the back, just kind of the more prominent ones. So, and I'm using this page here that has more of this peachy orangey tone versus some of the other ones. The other page that I'm using is this page, and a lot of our designer series papers now, you can cut out or use the die cuts to cut out a lot of these little images. And so for this one, there are several images that can be cut out. And so I'm actually not going to be stamping any of these little guys today. We're just going to be using the die cuts to make these cards. So there's die cuts for the caterpillar, There's die cuts for this little guy reading the book, and this one, the bee, and the ants. So it just makes it a lot easier, and you can get several images out of each piece of paper. I thought I would make this into a really easy easel card, because when I did this, I thought, oh gosh, I want to put these little ants in here. That would be perfect to do an easel card with. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're just going to revamp it a little bit. So it's going to be super simple easel card. So to do that, I'm going to do the base first. So this is a normal base for the cardstock, but what I do for the easel part is we just score it again at halfway. So for US measurements, this ends up being like 2 3/4 where the score line is. So it's halfway. It's not any magical number. You can certainly do it lower or higher on the front of your card. And what it's going to do is it's going to sit up like this. So that's the base of the card. And then this is going to be the front. So traditional standard card front. This is the full size, not a layer, because it's going to be attached right to that base. So, and I'll show you how we do that. So that is the front. So the next layer, then I used Old Olive and did the next layer down that we traditionally do for a mat. So for the US measurements, it's 1/4 inch smaller. And then I'm going to put my images and layout on top of that. So let's put that together. And I wanted to show you these, and I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see them, unfortunately, because I did them on white. These are 2 embossing folders that are online exclusives that are absolutely adorable. Absolutely adorable. So here's one. This is the Ladybug Picnic 3D embossing folder. And then this one is called Lazy Daisy. And these are absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I did this Lazy Daisy one and thought, holy buckets, that is just how detailed those daisies are. And let me see if, sorry, I can't get the camera to really show with the light. I apologize. It's the depth of it is just beautiful. So there's a larger daisy, and then there's a smaller daisy. So it's very pretty. So on this sample card, I used the daisy. So I thought I would do one with the ladybugs for the sample that we do together today. So this is just 1.5 inches wide. And for this layer, I wanted it to be on just a smidge, very technical measurements, you know, a smidge smaller than this matte layer. So I just cut it 1/8, I think I did 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, I think it originally was like a quarter, yeah, it was 1/8 of an inch. So it's 5 1/8 is what it ends up being for the height of it, and then 1.5 inches wide. And the 1.5 inches is not, you know, again, one of those measurements that you can kind of give and take depending on your paper size. If you're, you know, this is a good way to use up scraps too, if you've got slices of paper. So this one is 2.5 inches and that same height, so 5 1/8, I believe it ends up being. Yeah, I think that's 1/8. Oh, measurements. So I'm gonna stick those 2 down to the green, to the Old Olive. It's my old standby green color. Kind of one of my faves. There. And then we're gonna glue this, because I think, you know, a few of us have used some of these 3D folders. It's better to glue these just because it gives you more contact, like surface area to contact the cardstock. Taping doesn't always work. And I overlapped this a little bit, so that's where I said the measurements aren't absolutely necessary to have perfect, because you're going to overlap this, and then I'm going to put ribbon over the top to kind of cover up that seam. And this ribbon is included in the suite. Gosh, I think it's called, I should have looked that up, Rick Rack, Specialty Rick Rack. Those of us that are a little older remember the true Rick Rack from years ago. A little bit modern day version of that. So I just cut a length, then I'm going to cover this up completely. The way I stick down ribbon is I kind of put 2 strips, and I'm going to put all of this down as long as I've got it flipped over, and then I just lay this down and I tuck it behind. So there's a strip of adhesive back there, and I tuck it down, and I do the same on the bottom and tuck it and stick it down there. And then we're going to put it on the front. So this is just that 1/4 sheet of cardstock layer. And that's our front layer. So then to make, I'm going to, I'll show you how to assemble it. That's pretty simple to do too, but we'll kind of put our little pieces on the front first to do some decoration. Make sure I'm not getting out of frame here. And I die cut a bunch of the little critters out ahead of time and put them in here. So we're just going to kind of, oh man, I got that on there crooked, didn't I? Oh, look at that. Here, I thought I was laying it down straight. I need to straighten this out, sorry. One of those things, you know. I love the bugs too, Maureen. They are so adorable. So here gives you an example of, you can rip these fronts off of here and re-adhere them down if you need to, if you get them on crooked. I just put more adhesive on the back, so, and then make sure I lay it down straight the next time. There we go, that's better. Okay, now we'll get stuff together. So, and then for the stamping I used, because I wanted, when I put this together, I kind of wanted a different shape than just a label or what have you. So I'm using the, let's see, the 3rd smallest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies is what I did, what I cut out ahead of time. And then I used the Simply Said stamp set. I love this one. It's a nice generic stamp set. And for the sample before, I used just a note. I liked having just some generic cards around in case I need to send somebody, I don't know, send a check or send a thank you, or it's one of those greetings that you can use for anything. So I'm going to use that again, and I'm just inking with some Old Olive. Nice thing about our clear stamps, you can cut first and stamp after. Kind of reverses those guidelines that we always used to do a little bit. Get that out of the way. Got sequins on my table there. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down. I'm going to put it up on some dimensionals. I'm going to put this down first because I'm going to use a few, I'm not going to use the big caterpillar for this one. I'm going to use a few smaller pieces. So in my mind, I'm just going to put this first, and then I'm going to kind of put my other little bugs around it to see what looks the best. We're making this one up as we go today, ladies. But I'm going to keep this here. And then here's all my little other bugs that I cut out ahead of time. I'm going to keep the ants for the inside. There's a couple little bees. Ugh. And like I said before, these all have die cuts that cut them out of that 1 page of designer series paper, or 2 pages in the package. And then, like I said, we'll keep the ants for the inside. So let's see, because it's actually nice. This section of the paper has this little green guy on here, so I'm going to put them all up on dimensionals too. I'm going to grab some of my mini dimensionals because some of these pieces are small. And probably don't need more than one dimensional on each of these little guys. And we'll see if I end up putting all of them on here or not, because I've got 4, and I don't know, generally we like to use odd numbers. So let's just kind of play around this. Let's see, I tend to like the little bees. Maybe I do the bees. Should have done one other different one maybe. Maybe I just do the 2 little bugs. And then a bee up here. It'd be cute if I had 3 of those too. Alright, maybe we'll do something like that. And then I have the little watering can that I cut out and the little flower, so I might try to plug those in there somewhere too. Alright, so we're just gonna go with that for now. I'm gonna put this over a little bit because there's this little patch of flower, so maybe I'll put that flower kind of in here and have him pretend that he's watering the flowers. I'm just gonna stick this one down first. I'm gonna think on that one for a minute. Let's see, we'll get the little guy, the little flower. Put the little mini on there. Put that little flower on there, and then we'll put the little watering can. I was so anxious for spring. I was at Costco the other day and they had tulips, so I bought some tulips. Oops, this is going to be off just a smidge. Move this over so he's got room enough to water. So I was so excited to see tulips, and they're actually starting to open, so my counter is looking springy. So there's that little guy. I don't know. I'm gonna leave him for another project, I think. I think that'd be too duplicative. So I'm gonna just have those 2. And now that I'm looking at this, I probably would move this over a little bit, but since it's stuck down, we're just going to leave it as is. And then to stick it to the front of this easel card, we're going to just put adhesive or glue, whichever you want to use, on this bottom half. Oops, line it right off the edge here. Nice part about this glass mat. And then it's going to layer just right over the top. I can stick it down straight this time. Okay, and then I've got, you know what, I think the one thing here we go. Got my white layer for on the inside. We're going to open this up. And I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside because I'm going to use it as just a generic card if I needed to send something to somebody, and I'll just write on the inside. And then I'm also going to put these up on some little baby dimensionals. Ants flying everywhere. Okay, so then we're gonna put these, and I can't remember what order they're actually in. Let me look at the paper. I think they go like this. Not that it matters, you can rearrange them. one down, and that's going to be our little kind of stopping point for our easel card so that it stays standing. We need to put another one underneath that flag so it's not just floppy. I might need to cut it in half. Hold on 1 second. These teeny pieces. Gosh. Do this before you take the adhesive off. Oh, goodness. It's one of those days. Alright, so then I'll stick this to the back. Try to get it hidden. Get that. You know what? Okay, I gotta pick it up. My advice would be to do this before you stick the first piece down. There we go. And then, there we go. So that's hidden. And then when we stand up our card, it'll stay like that. Now you could put them back a little bit further so that it would stand up more upright, but then sometimes that gets in the way of whatever you want to write, so I would generally put it down towards the bottom, and then it will stand up. So just a cute little adaptation for just a straight traditional card that you can then kind of change up just a little bit to make it an easel card with whatever you add down on the bottom. So it can be a label, it can be these little, some type of image that you pop up, just something to stop that card from sliding. And that is the bug. So simple, cute little card using the peach pie cardstock that is going to be retiring soon. Hopefully you like that little guy. The other samples I have to show you today, just a few things that I've made over time here, a little bit different format. So this is one of the cards I did with my club for and using Pretty in Pink as the base, and then these little frames are in the designer series paper. In one sheet you can cut out these little frames. So it's a really super easy card to put together once you cut them apart. And then I used the designer series paper for a little pop-up on the inside, stamp the ants. So that was a fun one to do. And then this was just a more basic version of that without the pop-up on the inside, with the little ants on the inside on the bottom. Those are just adorable. This is one that actually made on one of our prior lives. I just wanted to show, this is Petunia Pop, so one of the retiring colors. And then actually Diane's presentation yesterday afternoon, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. She used the ephemera pack to make some really cute cards, and this is actually one that I did similar to that, again for my club ladies. Using the flowers ephemera pack that she used, and then there's this label pack that we have too, and this is, I think, Shy Shamrock. So a lot of the in colors match really well with that flower pack, and so this is a card that I put together just using a cute happy birthday, and then an embossing folder on the back, the brick embossing folder. To make a really cute little card that came together really fast, because the labels are all together. You just stamp on the labels and then pick your flowers and design the front. So just another cute little card using the flower pack. So all right, that is my project for today. Short, sweet, cute. Oh, I was going to show you, I did put some of these embellishments on here. So this also comes in the Bug Suite, and they kind of look like water drops to me. They're called Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. I haven't had a chance for a project to use the ladybugs yet, so I really need to make something that I can use those. But I used the little water drops on this card front. They're hard to see, but it does kind of just give it a little bit of a little texture if you're looking at it when you have it in your hands. It's harder to see on screen, so I didn't feel like I needed to put those on today, but that's certainly an option to add little embellishments to your cards. All right, that's all I have for you today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. If you have not watched the presentations from yesterday, they're awesome. I had a chance to do that last night after I got home from work, and then they'll be on as always for like 30 days, and then we move them to our YouTube channels, so you can go and watch them later if you'd like. Contact the demonstrator that invited you to the group if you would like to order, so that you can get our PDF of all of our cards. And Ginny is going to be coming up next at the top of the hour with her project. And I think we've got 3 more people today. 4? 3. 3 more after that. So there's 5 total today. And if you have any questions, as always, let us know. And we love to see your samples. So if you get inspiration from any of our projects, please post pictures. We love to see what you do with our ideas, and we love for you to use your products that you have in your stash. So whether it's new products, old products, retired products, whatever, if you use our samples and our ideas for inspiration, we love to see your projects. So please post pictures of them in the group. And I hope you have a wonderful day, like I said, and we will see you next time.